The morning of the 31st of August 2025, I have to speak fairly low. I did a video there early on the state of the economy and the warnings that are going out from Jamie Dimon of Goldman Sachs. It's not the only one. Several are saying the same. The figures don't add up. And there is another point of view from people who study history that what has been happening is that myself and many others have been calling out the EU as a crowd of blithering idiots with a vicious streak. And the mass migration is part of the viciousness of the hatred they have for the people. There's no proper democracy in the EU, as you know. They're trying to penalise Hungary and Slovakia for not going along with their globalist regime, and only for Trump we were finished altogether with them. But if the wheels start coming off the wagon and they're forced to go to the International Monetary Fund, the next move is to throw out a smokescreen or to divert attention so that people won't say, look at that farmer with cows, he told us that, and you just wouldn't listen. And the way to get out of that is war. And they have cultivated a situation. They orchestrated the Ukraine war, and they've cultivated that to have it there right now, to have it there at this minute, so that when they become a laughingstock, they can divert to war. Now, if they had the Democrats in power, God bless the mark, Kamala Harris, it'd be easy doing it because she's a blithering idiot as well, and she'd go for this with the deep state, the John Boltons, and the warmongers. So it'd be easy. We'd already be probably in the war. Trump is a wee bit more cautious that way. But in his case, there was a case against him the other day where the second highest court in America ruled that his tariffs are illegal, that he can't put them on. And the US Constitution does say that tariffs can only be put on by Congress with the president's approval, but Congress has to pass it. That's the House of Representatives and the Senate. He can't just put them on himself, except in emergency situations. And the big question will be, as this goes to the Court of Appeal, from the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court in America, is this an emergency? And in fairness, it's hard to show it is an emergency, that this couldn't be done by other things. But the law in America does not give the president sweeping powers to just do what he's doing with the tariffs. Anyway, that's in the Court of Appeal. It was Democratic appointed judges ruled, but even that, there is a bit of merit to the fact that the Congress approval is needed for the tariffs. The emergency part of it, how long does an emergency go on for? He does have Republican appointments to the Supreme Court, which may rule on his side and they may not. I'd say at the moment it's 50-50. If the Supreme Court rules that Trump is not entitled to bring in the tariffs, the next move is to go to Congress. And in Congress, the war hawks are there live on the Democrats and on the Republican side. Lindsey Graham would be the prime example. So you could see horse trading where they'd offer Trump to support the tariffs, provided he supports a war in Europe. And that'd back him into a wall. Because the EU, Ursula von der Leyen, Frederick Merz and Macron, and that Starmer in England, they're not going to be defeated on this without blood, without the blood of at least another equal to Ukraine. 1.8 million is now given as the number dead in Ukraine. That's a bit high maybe, but that's nearly that. So they're halfway through and they have another 1.8 million to kill of Europeans. And they're going to try and rope in Ireland. The Irish Fianna Fáil government, Fine Gael government, are mad for war. I don't know about Sinn Féin, but the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are mad for war. And this is what looks to be coming. And many very astute observers say it will develop into war, because these type of situations where you get an economic collapse on top of a tension for war, it all slides into war. If there was no war potential, it wouldn't be as easy. The economy would collapse like 2008. There mightn't be as many wars. But now they're ready for the war. The money will be made by making weapons. The glory will be for soldiers, for generals, for lieutenants, captains, all to make their name. In Daniel O'Connell's time in Ireland, long ago, way back, there was a duel and he shot a man with a pistol and he deeply regretted it. And that time, if somebody took your honour, somebody said you're an Old-Egypt, you could challenge them to a duel. And it was settled by who got hit with the bullet. And that's a wee bit watered down now, but that way of thinking is still there. And these people do not want to be beaten. There's a lot in the Republican Party in America of the same view. Trump is really a pacifist, but he's on his own. So this could all build round to this war coming. All I can do, and all most people can do, is try and alert the people who will be going to the war, don't go. There's no glory in fighting Russia. The idea that Russia wants to invade Europe is ridiculous. You have a Kaya Kallas one, a young one of about 36 or 7. She got to be a politician in Estonia. And that one wants to pull Ireland into a bloody war. She's anti-Russian mad. It is unbelievable, but that's who has the power. That's what the EU has become. The Ukraine war could have been sorted out before there was anyone dead at all. History tells us they'll always fight wars unless the people themselves refuse to go. If nobody go and nobody join the military, then it's going to be more difficult. And I think that one of the things behind the migrants, they think the migrants are going to go and fight for them. They know the Irish and the British and the French will not fight for them. They'll turn on the government themselves. The guillotine will be back in France. But if they had the migrants on their side, which they seem to think they will have, they think they might succeed. And of course, that's ridiculous. The migrants are not going to fight. They're here for whatever they can get, a bit of free dole and things like that, and a good time, and young women to defile. That's all they're here for. But they don't look at it like that. The European Union does not look at it like that. And wait till the Germans realise their pensions has gone into weapons. Wait till the British discover any wee little bit of welfare state they had is gone. Because after the Second World War, the British voted out Churchill because they wanted a reward for their fighting. They wanted a better welfare state. And they put in the Labour government. Now, that's been all through the grinder. There was a reasonably good welfare state built up and a health service and all that. And the government decided to share it with the rest of the world, thereby diluting down the benefits. And now it's time again. It's time again to get the war going. And when they're all dead, and there's thousands dead, they'll have less welfare to pay. Because the demographics say there's too many old people and not enough young people. And even if the young people were there, they won't let them manufacture or do anything. They won't let them burn fuel. So there's no manufacturing. The exception is for the war. Even in the environmental directives that I study that they ignore, it exempts military, exempts defence. So you can do what you like without contravening the directives. Isn't that a scary idea? But it will not affect the voters. 40% of the Irish voters will still stay away from the polls, no matter what. The other 20% will vote Fianna Fáil, the other 20% Fine Gael, and the other 30%, maybe 28 or 9, Sinn Féin. There'll be 68 or 69% of the Irish vote for Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And then the other 10% will go to TDs who will support the government and send them into war. Carol Nolan, Verona Murphy, all of those, your man Lowry, all of those, they will push the people into war, the same as if they were in the main parties, without a shadow of a doubt. So that's the way it's going. That's the historical situation. Once the pressure's on them and they're going to be showed up, oh, we've a new emergency. Don't forget it was climate change for years. Now, oh, don't mind that now. Don't mind that. Someone will say, oh, if you start driving around with warplanes, you'll burn up extra emissions. Doesn't matter. That's exempt. That's the way it's going to go. And that's what these crazies are capable of, because nothing they ever did made sense, and it still doesn't. We'll see you back soon. Bye bye. Thank you.